Hi, this is Rosetta Thurman, founder of HappyBlackWoman.com, and in today's video I want to share with you a concept that has really changed my life over the past few years. And people ask me questions about it all the time, and that concept is minimalism. I have been a minimalist for the past 2 years, or I've been on this journey actually to become fully location independent, which means the term location independent means that you can live and work from anywhere in the world. And I've been building my business to be able to be virtual, and my coaching can be done over the phone, and we can do Skype. I don't need to be living in a particular area to have a profitable business, because I love to travel and I want to see new places, and I already have the freedom to do it. It's just, how do you make that happen? So I've been on this journey to really figure out, how do you become location independent? And for me, it all started with minimalism. And I did not make these two terms up. I didn't make up the word location independent. I didn't make up the word minimalism. These are terms that have been around for many years. So I found out about minimalism when I was, I think, back in 2011. I was reading some articles. Either there were some news articles and there were some blogs that were out talking about living with less, living below your means. Because of the economy, a lot of people started to see the value of not having so much stuff, because if you have a lot of stuff, you need a lot of space to hold it, and you could lower your monthly bills if you get rid of some stuff. So I was reading articles about people who got rid of their cars, people who moved into smaller apartments or smaller homes. There was a story about a woman who lives in like a very tiny home that is on wheels, like an RV kind of thing, and her family live in that and travel around. And I was reading and I was like, this sounds pretty good to me, this lifestyle, this minimalist lifestyle, because I was at the time living in DC in a very expensive studio apartment, and it was right next to the metro. So I was like, yes, everything is convenient, but it was really expensive to live there. And I was building my business at the same time and really trying to figure out, was it possible for me to have this really nice apartment, build my business, and do the things that I love to do, which is travel. And the money just wasn't adding up, right? I mean, it just wasn't adding up. So I decided to do an experiment. In 2011, I did an experiment, and I started downsizing. So I wanted to share just a few lessons that I've learned from my journey over the past 2 years. And the first lesson that I can share with you is that you have to figure out what matters most to you. You have to figure out what is it that is most important to you. And to me, material things are not that important to me. What's more important to me than having nice stuff, a nice couch, a nice closet full of clothes, is experiences. I value experiences over stuff. And research has borne this out time and time again, that it's not money that makes us happy. It's not the stuff that makes us happy. We get a temporary high when we go shopping and buy something, but what makes us happy is the experiences and the memories that we have around the things that we buy. So you think about going on vacation with your loved one, your significant other, your family. You have those memories, and no one can take those away from you. They're priceless. So I found out for myself that I would rather have experiences, travel experiences, than stuff. I would rather spend my disposable income on seeing the world. So number one is, that's really what you have to do, is figure out what is most important to you. And then you can start to organize your life and plan your life around it. So instead of saying, well, I really want to travel, but I don't have the money, I said, I really want to travel. How can I save money so I can do it? So the second thing that I did, and the second lesson I learned, was that it pays to have a roommate. So I was living alone in DC in this expensive apartment, and I was paying all my bills by myself. So if you have an opportunity to room with someone, you can save a lot of money. So I literally cut my monthly rent in half by going to live with someone else. So I got rid of my apartment in DC. I gave away my furniture. I sold some furniture, and I went to Craigslist.org. I went to Craigslist. You can also go to roommates.com. And I went searching for someone who was single, living alone, had an extra room in their house, preferably an older person, someone who wasn't party all the time. And I found someone on Craigslist who had an extra room. It was just her and her cat. And I went to live with her for a few months just to see what it was like. I really had not had a roommate. Even in college, I didn't have a roommate. So it was a new experience for me living with a strange woman, a woman that I didn't know, someone that wasn't even a part of my family. And what I found was it's not that big of a deal. It's not that bad. I mean, I have my own room. I can close the door. I have my privacy. I have my own bathroom. And I was only paying $600 a month. In DC, that is a steal, right? And I had kitchen privileges, and, I had the ability to park my car there. It was fabulous. It was convenient and everything. So I saved a lot of money just by downsizing and getting a roommate. So that was number 2, was to really figure out how could I downsize my living situation. And again, it all goes back to, why am I doing this? Because I want to have enough money to travel. So what I found was, in those first few months that I downsized after I got rid of my apartment, I was able to save up enough money to go on a month-long trip to Hawaii. So I went to Hawaii and I stayed there for about a month, and I just lived there and soaked up the island and the culture and the food and the weather. And this was about November through December in 2011, and it was fantastic. I had a ball, and that was the first time that I said to myself, this is the lifestyle I want. I want to be able to do this. So it was worth it to me after that to really figure out, how can I always have a roommate so that I can save money. So the third thing that I did was to get rid of my stuff. I still had stuff, right? So I was moving my stuff from place to place and realizing that I didn't need all that stuff, right? I had already gotten rid of my furniture. I got rid of a lot of my clothes when I gave up my apartment, but little by little I started getting rid of more and more of my clothes. And over time, I went from all my clothes fit into 2 big 20-gallon plastic bins, the ones you get at like Target or Walmart. All my clothes and shoes fit into 2 of those. And then every time I would move to a different place, I would get rid of more stuff. That was one of my goals. Every time I moved, I would get rid of more and more stuff and really look at, what have I worn in the past 3 months? And if I didn't wear it at all in the past 3 months, I would get rid of it, give it away. I give a lot of things to Goodwill, to different charities, the Lupus Foundation. And I ended up with 1 20-gallon plastic bin that all my clothes and shoes fit in. And I thought that was like it. I thought I couldn't downsize anymore. But I've been living in, I think, 7 different cities over the past 2 years, just going from place to place. I call myself a nomad, but this lifestyle has shown me that you do not need a lease to live somewhere. You do not need to have a lot of money to experience adventure and new places. And I've also realized that I don't need a lot of clothes. I mean, I'm self-employed, and even if I had a job, you really typically wear the same outfits over and over and over again. There are a few items that you probably wear once in a while. So I am now down to all of my clothing and shoes fits into 1 small carry-on suitcase. And the reason why that's so important to me into this minimalist lifestyle is because if you have a lot of clothing, you have to carry a lot of bags with you. You have to carry a lot of boxes with you when you move from place to place. You might have to put things in storage, and that costs money. So, and I'm happy, I'm content. Like, I don't need a lot of clothes. It's much easier and faster to get ready in the morning, to get dressed. And I do speaking engagements, and I have 2 or 3 outfits that I wear for speaking engagements. Everything fits, and it's not a big deal. So I got rid of a lot of my clothes. That was number 3, getting rid of stuff. And the more stuff you have, you really have to think about, do I love this stuff? Do do I really need this stuff? Or is it just something that's holding me back? You know, the more stuff you have, the more room you have to hold it. And if you need a lot of room, you can end up paying a lot of rent. You can end up, again, paying storage fees. I know people who pay $150 to $200 a month just to pay a facility to hold their stuff. They're not using the stuff. It's locked up in a facility. Like, why are you paying that? $200 a month is a car payment. It is a nice chunk of change to put into a travel fund. If you save $200 a month for a year, you would have enough money to take a trip to pretty much any destination you want, right? I mean, stay there for a few days to a few weeks. You can do it. So the fourth thing, I talked about figuring out what it is that you wanted. I talked about downsizing your living situation, getting rid of your stuff. And the fourth thing is to really go paperless. I realized that a lot of the things that I have left now after downsizing so much is paper, like records from my life, different parts of my life, and realizing that, you know, the technology we have now, there's no need for you to have boxes of paper everywhere in your house or carrying with you from place to place. I have scanned a lot of documents into Dropbox. It's a cloud-based file storage system. So you can do that. You can just store stuff on your computer or on a hard drive. Use a scanner and get the documents in there, and so you never have to worry about the paper part of it. I know that some people have boxes and boxes of papers and forms, and, you know, just in case, and, you know, thinking they're going to need it. Scan it, store it in the cloud so that you don't have all of that paper clutter around you. And that is how you can start to become a minimalist. So if you have any questions about minimalism, you know, the concept is that you live with less, you value experiences over things, and really it's allowed me to live a much richer and fulfilled life. I'm happy and I'm free, and getting rid of a lot of my stuff has contributed to that. So if you have any questions about minimalism or living location independent, please share them with me, and I'll try to make another video to answer them. But in the meantime, I hope to see you at happyblackwoman.com, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.